Hello, welcome to this little video where I'm going to show you just how easy it is to make a really healthy probiotic natural yogurt in the TM6 Thermomix. Who am I? My name is Ailsa Hitchens. I'm a registered nutritional therapist and health coach, and I'm also an independent Thermomix advisor. And I'm joined today by my able assistant Tilly.
Hello.
And Tilly is going to be doing all the hard work today. Hope you're up for it, Tilly. So one of the things that's super important for really good general health is keeping a healthy digestive system. And one of the best things that we can do is to eat foods that give our bodies extra good bacteria. So they are probiotic foods. And one of the easiest and most enjoyable foods I like to eat that contain probiotics is natural yogurt. So we are going to make today a red berry natural yogurt, which we will be tasting later.
Yum.
And in fact, when I say we are going to make it, Tilly is going to make it. So if you don't know the TM6 Thermomix, we have this amazing function, which is called Cookie Dough, and it has about 60,000 yummy recipes. Of course, you can freestyle it and make your own, but we are going to be using this function, and I've selected for us today a red berry yogurt. So we are going to measure out 200 grams of mixed berries. So I've just got some frozen ones here because frozen are fine and they're a lot cheaper. So Tilly, would you like to do the honours? I'm just going to step out of the way. Tilly's just going to, doesn't matter how much of whatever you've got, she's just going to tip it in. When you're done, then let me know.
Berries in?
Yeah. That's just over, but that's absolutely fine. Perfect. Do you want to hit next, Tilly, and we'll find out what the next job is that we've got to do.
40 of brown sugar.
So now we're not actually using sugar, and I could do, it's the, you know, it is the recipe, but as a nutritionist, what I can tell you that sugar is not so good either for your tummy or your health in general. And it's one of the ways, the more sugar you have, it's a bit like smoking, it creates the need for the next craving. So you can end up on a bit of a sugar roller coaster. So instead, I'm using a sweetener called stevia, which keeps your sugar levels your blood sugar levels much more stable. Now, stevia is significantly sweeter than sugar. So for the 40 grams of brown sugar that it's saying that I need, actually what I'm going to get Tilly to do is I'm going to get Tilly to measure in. No, we're actually going to use, I've got raspberries down me, that's fantastic. This is what happens in our kitchen all the time. So I want you to very carefully measure out 12 grams, that's all we're going to need. Now, what's fantastic about the TM6 is you'll see that not only is it giving us all the instructions for what to do, so really I'm not even required in this room, but there are some inbuilt weighing scales. So this machine is going to do everything. So we'll take you through the whole recipe, but it's at the moment it's weighing out how much we need. 12, okay, so let's put, let's do next and let's see what we're going to do.
Measuring cup into. We get the
Okay, so there we go, we're going to stick that on.
next, and it actually tells us what speed we have to put it onto. So that's 1. It's going to do that for 8 minutes.
So what it's actually doing is it is going to gently steam it's warming up and steaming the blueberries. So it's cooking them on something called varoma. And sometimes I use that, well, I use it all the time. I've got a big dish that sits on top and I use that to cook vegetables and poach chicken and fish and things like this. So we've got 8 minutes where it's just going to get to work on making the berries delicious. What you can hear is a little ping that tells us that the TM6 is now ready. So hit the off, Tilly.
Press that button there.
Right, it's going to say, tell us what the next, oops. Let's go back a bit. It's going to tell us what the next step is.
So with the measuring cup still in.
Turn the speed to 5. So I think it's going to whiz it up for us. So Tilly's just literally going to turn up, and for 3 seconds.
That wasn't as noisy as I thought.
Okay, so what it's done, it takes such a short time. It's blended up, really whizzed up small, those bits of fruit. So now, let's just have a little look. I think we don't like a lot of lumps in our house, whether it's jam or whatever. So have a little peek in there. What do you think?
I think a bit more.
I think a bit more whizzing. Okay, so what we'll do is we will just give it a tiny little bit of, we're going to have 10 seconds of, we'll make it really,
it's not
really.
In the recipe, but we can do it. So on the home, there's little settings. A bit of that in there. Thicker than I thought it would be.
What we're going to do is we're just going to repeat this process for all of the jars, and then we'll be back with the next step. So we're now done putting our mixture in the jars. Tilly, if you want to go and just put those over, maybe just stick them behind us so they're out of the way, because right now what we're going to do is we're going to get ahead and start making the yoghurt. So it says clean the mixing bowl. Actually, I'm lucky enough to have a second mixing bowl for my Thermomix. Just get the lid out. When you use it so much, it's great to be able to not have to wash up in between. But I mean, first world problems and all that. Right, so we're going to need to add 1,000 grams of whole milk. So you go ahead and do that, Tilly. So what's interesting about this recipe is it uses long life milk. You can use just regular milk, so it's using full fat and long life. Now, why is that? The long life, you're going to need loads, darling. The long life just makes it a little bit thicker. So it's not that you can't use fresh milk, but the end result with long life is just a little bit thicker. We're also going to be using some milk powder as well, which just gives it a little bit, it gives it a really nice mouthfeel. How are we doing with that?
I think we've got 800 grams.
Okay, keep going.
Is this 1,000 grams in here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably.
That's good enough.
Yeah. Okay, so what's interesting is normally if you're making yogurt in a yogurt maker, let's say a Lakeland one or something like that, you will be measuring out almost certainly in millilitres. So this machine does liquids and it measures powders and butters and things like that, and it does it all in grams because the millilitres to grams is pretty much identical. Right, okay. The next job is to grab the milk powder. Tilly, grab the milk powder, please. So we're going to add 30 grams of the milk powder. I might get you a spoon, actually.
It's powdery.
I'm not quite sure how it's going to go with 30 grams. Okay, so maybe start with a spoonful and see what you think.
It smells weird. Well, that's only 3 grams.
Yeah, you're going to need to really check. Maybe if I hold it open. There you go.
That's some heaps.
Okay, so see, you're nearly there. Nearly there. Another 2 grams. Perfect. Okay, now hit next for me. Don't worry about the mess. Hit next and let's see what we're up to.
Got plain yogurt.
Okay.
Where's that one? Oh, couldn't see it.
So we're using a plain yogurt, so my favourite actual plain yogurt of all time, if I'm not having Greek yogurt, is this Yo Valley. Others are available. So we're using the full fat yogurt, and we need 120 grams, and I think that's 150.
So we are going to have to measure it. Just plop that in.
And the reason why we're doing that is that we need the live cultures that are present naturally in yogurt.
Oh.
Oh, tiny bit more. Perfect. Okay. Right, insert measuring cup into the measuring bowl lid. Well, we've got that. I tend to store it like that, actually. Anyway, then, okay, you press next.
Next. 3.
So now it's going to spend 5 minutes cooking at 50 degrees, and we'll see you in a couple of seconds when the machine's all done. Okay, so the machine has just told me that it's done. So let's have a little look. Oh.
It's water yogurt.
It's very watery yogurt. So I'm just going to tip this a little, hopefully not all over the unit so you can see. Now what we're going to do is, well, the next job is I'm going to divide the mixture between all of the jars. So probably if I do this, Tilly, if you just...
Yeah. Do you need to put the lids on?
Yeah, if you can grab the lids. Okay, so what's going to happen now is we are going to put the lids on all of these jars. This is just, you know, something that little jars that I got for about 13 quid for 12, I think, got them from Amazon. So Tilly is just going to start putting the lids on the jars. Now, it's not magic. We need to wait 12 hours. So what we're going to do is we are going to put the lids on these jars, and then we are going to wrap them up. So wrap the whole thing in tea towels to keep them nice and warm, and then they are going to go somewhere warm, which in my house it's going to be the airing cupboard, and we're just going to wait for the bacteria to develop. About 12 hours later, that is going to be our yogurt, and we will then put that in the fridge, and we can then use that whenever we like. So really looking forward to it. Unfortunately, it is the kind of thing that you know, if you want yogurt immediately, well, you know, bad luck. But it will be absolutely delicious when made, and we will be back to share it with you as soon as we can.
Do you think you can freeze it?
No, we're going to eat yogurt for a while. Actually, these will keep for about 5 days in the fridge. So, yeah, we just need to encourage everybody to eat them. But I'm pretty sure that we'll get through it.
I think we lost a lid. Because there was an extra jar.
We won't worry about a lost lid. What's a lost lid between friends? Okay, so we will see you again tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.